I can hear something from over there. I can hear something. The singing detective. The singing detective. Oh wow. What a... I'll tell you what, these Femoris airbeds are fantastic. So much more comfortable than my old little army one. No, this is a first. And it really is. I'll tell you what, it's really going to make all the difference. I think I'm going to be sleeping more comfortably once I get my head around the pillow system. But the Corinthia Defence Force sleeping bag is top drawer because of the waterproof outer. Oh, the sun's in the tent and look at the condensation. Everything. If I shook this tent, I'll be drenched. It's a single skin, there's no condensation barrier skin. And it is what it is. But yeah, there's like glisten and sparkles everywhere. Oh, look!
Good morning.
Look who it is. This, boys and girls, is my saviour.
Well,
I'm going to tell you for why later, but what this woman's doing for me, you just wouldn't believe it. What a friend. No, it's not like that.
I wasn't saying anything.
I'll tell you when she's gone, but you'll understand. And there's a magnificent tent there.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Alien tent.
I think every time I've seen you, you've been with that tent. You just love it, don't you?
Yeah, I do, but I use the old, you know, the Vivian top. It's just up here. I didn't want to risk it in case of changing weather.
I really did consider it myself, actually. I went through about 3 or 4 different options on my Instagram, and I just ended up with this, and it's done all right, really, to be honest.
Good. It's a nice tent.
Yeah. I was going to say plenty of room for V and me, but I shouldn't say things like that. No! But no, I just can't get over the views. It's totally different to what I'm used to, the woodland. This is just breathtaking. And looking out there, it doesn't look that far, but at certain points it takes an hour to get there, an hour to get there. That isn't... To get to the top from here, you would never do that in an hour. You would never do it, not on that terrain. We've seen many people walking and they have like small day packs, no more than about 3 or 4 pound in there, and they're sticking to the paths. But when you start putting Bergens on and going across country, all you got to do is ask Pete, Maverick Outdoors. He will tell you about terrain out here. It's boggy, there's undulating everywhere. You'll be walking relatively okay and you're down to your knee. It's just horrendous. It takes so long to traverse, but it really has been a physical wake-up call for me anyway. Okay, a few hours have passed since V set off on her trekking. The reason for that, she will explain on her video as well, as doing all of that walking with that pack yesterday really took it out of my legs. Now I've got some problems with my legs anyway regarding cramps, etc. And sometimes after some sort of distance, usually carrying a pack, the outside of my thighs just feel like they're about to cramp. So I tend to just keep going, keep pushing until the point where they just stop. They just absolutely cramp up the whole legs, not just my outer thighs, but my calves, my hamstrings, the whole leg. So I'm just like this, I just can't hardly move. So that kept happening towards the end yesterday. So bearing in mind the trek back from where we are now, right up to where we went yesterday and then back down, it might take so long because I'm just going to need so many recuperation breaks during that. So V, bless her, she's such a diamond, she really is. What a member of the team, seriously. She's volunteered to sort of return to where the car park is, but instead of going across that horrible terrain we crossed yesterday, she's going to head up and follow the trail. I believe it's called the Brecon's Way, transversing all of the three major peaks. So she's going to reverse the route, go back and get her car, and she's going to come round to behind the reservoir, give it a couple of clicks, pick me up, or meet up. We're going to strike camp here, and then we're going to go back to the car, go back to my car in the original car park, and set off home. And it really chokes me up, to be honest. You know, there are some really good people out there to do that. And I recall Pete, Mind Wiseman, he was out on the Brecon Beacons and he'd done something to his leg or his hip. And the guy he was with, Dave, he carried Pete's Bergen for him on his front. So this place, don't underestimate it, seriously. I shall return and do this again, but in hindsight I'm going to need a lot more conditioning before, and I'm going to have to shed so much weight from that pack. I know I keep saying it before, but you know, the only reason I buy military kit is because it's cheap and it lasts long, but the downside is the weight, and it is aimed at 17 to 30-year-old fit men, and I'm 44 now and I'm nowhere near as fit as I should be. So it was a big lesson learned and a wake-up call. So I'm going to show you on the map now exactly what dear old V is going to be up to. Unbelievable. And she knows this, and she's going to laugh now, and my nickname for her is Wonder Woman, because she is outstanding. Right, so we met up here in the car park. We walked all the way up here, and that was a killer walk. We just kept going. We got to the base of Corndoo. We transversed around Corndoo along this footpath here. Now we come down this steep path and we camped around here somewhere. Now what we had to do is, after the first night, we packed up our kit, we crossed back over this creek, come all the way along here, and this was an absolute pain going across this ground here. It was an absolute nightmare. And we made our way down, and here, which is where we are right now. Okay, so V, bless her, she has lightened her load considerably, and she's taken the bare essentials of what she needs, and she's gone up here along the main track. She didn't go across this dodgy ground, she took the track. It's so much easier and faster to move on. Okay, so she went up to there, she's going along Brecon's Way, and she's going to basically just reverse the same route that we just done. Going to transverse everything, come back down there, and she's going to get back to her car. Now once she's in the car, she's going to come all the way down this road and keep going all the way down this road. Okay, she's going to keep coming all the way down here until this area, and she's going to come up roughly, I'm not sure exactly, but she's going to come up roughly around here, up this road. It's a long old poke. You can keep driving all the way up here. Here's a little road here, all the way up to there, and she's going to park here. Then she's going to walk along the side of the reservoir, come and meet me. We're going to strike camp, and we're going to walk back to here, and then reverse all of that route all the way back over to here. Now the scale of this is insane, as you can see. So it's going to take quite a considerable time to walk and to drive all of that journey. Unbelievable. Okay, while we're waiting for our saviour, we're going to quickly go through the contents in the top part of my Bergen. So what we've got in the top part of the Bergen is the most important survival equipment. Okay, the reason I've put it in the top is because it's the easiest, quickest place to get to. Okay, there's no buckles, there's no draw cords, just one zip and you're in. So on the left you see a Blizzard survival bag. Now I've recently done an overnighter on this and testing it, and I was sat impressed with it. I've ordered the spare one, and this is the spare one that I'll keep for emergencies only. The other one I'll still use for training purposes, but for this one, if I really needed it, I wanted it brand new in tip-top condition. Excuse the wind. Now these are used by the Royal Marines Arctic Warfare Training School. If anyone is after information on these or inquiring about getting one, contact Tom Cockroach, because he knows a man who knows a man. Moving along, we've got some signal flares. Now these are for, as I say, all of this is emergencies, because people do die out here. They really do, including SAS. You know, it doesn't matter who you are or how clever you are, how fit you are, you can buy it at any time for any number of reasons. So I've just increased my survival odds by adding this equipment to my kit. So for signalling, as we saw, the search and rescue guys were out in force over the weekend. So something like this they will see easily. We've got some paracords. Now the reason I've got paracord, if you can see that at the top of the screen, is that is multi-use, obviously, and that coincides with the old chem sticks. Now what you do is you cut off a length of paracord, tie it to this, and you wave it around in circles to attract attention. Speaking of attention, we've got a strobe beacon there. This is used by the US military. Excellent piece of equipment. And usually I store this with the batteries around the wrong way so it doesn't accidentally discharge and ruin the device. For this weekend I've put them in the correct way so I can get and use it as quick as possible. Now it's got 3 modes. It's got infrared, aircraft and standard. Right in the centre there is a first aid kit. Now it's everything I think is important for a trip like this. It doesn't have to be a great big crash bag, okay? It's the bare basics with lots of pain relief. So if anything happens like a twisted ankle, etc., you're pretty much covered, okay? There's splint in there and all sorts. And last but not least is some gaffer tape. Just wound on to a tiny little straw, and I've folded it back so you can open it nice and easy. If you've got cold hands, it's a lot easier to open, okay? So that's all it is. That is just the bare basics for last ditch emergencies, okay? Now some people may think it's over the top, you don't really need it, but you do some history on Brecon beacons and see the people who've died out here. You can't take any chances, okay? Well, for this weekend I've been using just a gas stove, okay? It's a titanium one I've had for a couple of years, and so far it's not really let me down. It's always good to go, you know. Make sure you've got good quality gas. That was given to me very kindly from Steph Talafdernan, and that's done most of the cooking over this weekend. Now we did have a fire, as you saw last night, which we boiled the water to have our meals with. That was fine. But you shouldn't just rely on this, because if something did fail and you're not in the woods and you're in the hills, you need to heat up water, etc. for food, drinks. You need to stay warm, especially if you've not got no shelter, okay? Because you're going to get cold very quick, hypothermic, and it's not a good idea. So I'm trying something new, and it's just a gel burner. Now I'm a bit naughty because I've never ever tried this before. This was a last-ditch idea to throw into the kit as a backup, okay, in case the gas failed. Now my plan was to use my little Esbit stove, because it's small and light. I ordered some fuel tablets because I haven't got any Esbit fuel at all, and they just didn't arrive. It's just ridiculous. You know, they should have arrived about 3 or 4 days ago. They never did. So I was a bit hacked off of that. So I just threw this in the bag, and if I really need to use it, I just hope it's going to work. The reviews and reports are quite good on these. I'm not sure exactly how long the gel will burn for. That's very debatable depending on conditions. Obviously, if it's really cold and it's windy, you've got no windbreak, it's going to burn out pretty quick, okay? But one of the tips that I saw from a YouTube video a long time ago, when you actually use these, you unscrew the lid and you cut across into the foil and you peel each corner back, so you've got 4 pointed triangles. That acts as a windbreak, okay? You don't just cut around it and pull it off, because a lot of wind's just going to blow your flames all over the place. So that is what the armed forces use when they go into their national service. They all get issued with these with their rations, and that's how they use them. So when in Rome and all that, okay? So I can't tell you what this is like because I've never used one, but one of these days I'm going to get to test one, so it's always good to have backup just in case. Well, for some of my newer subscribers who haven't seen these before, I've been using these for quite a while now. I come up with the idea when I was about to go off wild camping in the New Forest, testing out some kit and equipment, and I was a little bit concerned of when you walk away from your camp, you keep going, you turn around and you can't find your camp, especially in the dark, okay? So I needed something which I could put on my setup, which I could shine my torch and it will reflect instantly. Now these are a great idea, I just love using these. And also the size, they actually fit through Powers Molly. So you can open them up and they will stay straight like this. And that will thread through your molly system, however way, up, down, etc. And you will see that from a long way away, okay? Especially if you're like marching on the road, you're training, or you're just walking on the road with a dog, something like that. As soon as a car headlight sees it, they will see you, okay? So all I tend to do is to put this around where my tent is, sometimes up high. So all you do is you shine your torch and it reflects, and it's nice and lightweight, and I can thoroughly recommend them. They actually do work. And this has to be one of the most expensive pieces of kit that I've bought. It's a lot of money, and I was zooming and ahhing to get one of these for a long time, okay? But because of the weight, it goes to 5 centimeters, very thick, very comfortable. It's a thermarest, and it inflates very fast. I think it took me about 12 full breaths, and that's it, it's done. And it's got a non-return valve as well, so when you're blowing air in and you take it out your mouth, it doesn't come out again, it stops, it keeps it in there. So that's very cool. And you don't really need any reflective ground sheet or anything underneath. You can put that straight on the ground, and I think it's good to about -7. So most places in the UK, that is really good to go. They're expensive, they're a lot of money, but I think one of the most important things is a good night's sleep. If you're out in the wilds for extended periods and you're not getting enough sleep, that could lead to all sorts of problems. You can make mistakes, you can injure yourself. It doesn't bear thinking about. So the most important thing is sleep. Without sleep, you get tired, you make mistakes, and that ain't good. So that's a heads up from me. I can thoroughly recommend that if anyone's looking for a decent mattress. I think this is called the Evo Light or something like that. I'm not really sure, but yeah, really recommend that. It's fantastic. Well, because we're in a bit of a wind trap here, it's an excellent time to air your sleeping bag. Now it's been up there for an hour. It's spot on. I've turned it inside out, give it an upper hour, and that should be lovely. You don't really need to like muck around when you get back home, and it's all done out in the field. Well, the Breccon's been hanging up. It's so easy to get stuff in and out, and the ground's always boggy, so it's a great idea to do this. We'll start from the bottom. Gloves. Some of you have seen these on the I think it was the Long Log Fire survival video that I tried out, that blizzard bag. I think these are Swedish tactical gloves, I think they call them, but I've been using them quite a bit, and so far I can report that there's no faults on any of the stitching. Everything seems fine. I haven't used them in proper torrential rain, so I can't say about the waterproofness. It's like a neoprene, like a wetsuit material or dry suit material, and I think it's calfskin leather. It's very soft and very tactile, so you can actually feel a lot rather than just sticking your hands in a great big gauntlet and you can't feel much. Gloves, this was a last minute thing. I was speaking to my friend Pete Mindwiseman before I come up here, and he was wearing a pair of, I think, are they called seal skins? And I'm not sure if he had 1 or 2 layers on, but he was really putting them through their paces, and his hands absolutely got soaked to the skin. His hands were white, very cold, because they was on exposed ridges when the weather turned, and that made me think, okay, if the same thing happens, I don't want horrible white, cold, wet hands. So I tucked the gloves in. Didn't really need to use them apart from fire prep, if I'm honest. We weren't really walking around in the dark, in the cold, so I didn't really need to use them. But if anyone else has had any reports about sealskins gloves not being as waterproof as they are, could you let us know in the comments, because I am considering getting some, but I don't want to spend money because they are a lot of money, if they're not as good as they claim to be. Moving along, a little torch I always clip on top of the Brecon there. Okay, that's on there, so if there's no light at all, if everything fails, at least I can see all of my kit inside. It's a nice little lightweight aluminium one by Night, and it's a nice, simple, easy torch. All you got to do is turn it on and turn it off. There's nothing else. It's perfect. Just one AAA battery, so that's always stays in there. And petzels, the carabiners there. Now I was put onto these by a good friend of mine at Chris at Apocalypse Graphics, and he's been a climber for many years, and he can thoroughly make around Petzl as a brand. Now these are the ones I got. I don't plan on doing any climbing, but they're there just in case I need them for some very heavy structural supports, and they don't really weigh much, to be honest, so it's great. So they've just been hanging there on the kit and clipping all sorts of stuff to them, and these are really good. I'm really impressed. So that's the make and model, if anyone's interested in getting something similar. Okay, well, it's a good job I bought my K-bar. Okay, it's not really a survival knife or bushcraft knife. It's more of a fighting knife designed for one task, killing, whether it be people, animals. It's a great tool for that. But I chose this because it's very lightweight. It's one of the only lightweight knives I've got. It's got coating on there, so it's not going to rust, and it's friggin' sharp. Okay, now as I say, it's a good job we brought this along because we weren't planning on camping in the woods. So to do all our fire prep, believe it or not, this chopped through loads. And if you ask V, Wild Soul 62, she will tell you she was very impressed with this. Look at this! I can't believe it! You've returned to save my life. Oh my god! How cool is this? What a diamond. I told you she'd be back, didn't I?
Have you been worrying?
Well, I was watching the time and was thinking, oh, what if it starts to rain, or what am I going to eat, or how much food
What am I
there's.
going to eat?
Then I'm thinking, okay, where's all these? I could try and chase a sheep with my K-bar. That was going to be quite interesting.
That would be interesting. Don't worry,
Awesome.
I had a great big fat burger down at the car park.
Oh, right! I almost forgot about this. Now, this little pouch I got off a good friend of mine a few years ago, and I sent loads over to Mecca Animal Tendencies. It's just been sat in my box with all the different pouches, never really used it. Until recently I put my water filter in there. But for this weekend, this turned up at the last minute, and I needed to protect it. So, because this is padded, it's the perfect size for a UCO candle lantern. Now, the first time I ever saw one of these was Armour Cockroach had one where we went camping, back in 2012, I think. And I thought about it, I thought, it's not a bad idea, but, you know, it's only a candle, I don't think it's going to heat anything up. If it falls over, it starts a fire. I'd rather use an LED torch, to be honest. But, these really do work, and they're fantastic. I put it in my tent, lit it for about an hour, went in there, and there's a definite difference in temperature, definite. So that is very, very worthwhile knowing. But this one is a new one. You've got an LED at the bottom. Now, you probably won't see it. Oh, it's not too bad actually. There it is there. All you do is you just twist it. You probably won't see it. Yeah, you can. Even in full sunlight, you can still see it. So it's nice and easy, and it's not accidentally going to turn on. And yeah, these candle lanterns, really, really impressed actually. So that was a first time use for me. I think I got this one from the Bushcraft store. I think it was around £25 delivered, which is cool because, you know, if the candle goes out unexpectedly over a long period, you forget, you've always got a little backup light in the bottom, or you can just use it as a torch. So yeah, that's very nice. I do like that, and I couldn't believe my luck when it fitted in there. It's always a nice feeling when you discover something that fits. Awesome. I just had to show you that in case I forgot, because I was planning on doing all of my kit, laying it all out, and then talking about it all. But the way the weekend's gone, etc., you know, I couldn't show any of the food because I've had it all now. and with the wind and everything, it's just hard to film. Especially with the bloody search and rescue, they've just been so busy, you wouldn't believe it. So, yep, we're just back onto individual items, and yep, so far so good. The UCO candle lantern. Yeah, looking forward to using this in the winter as well. I think this will be a great addition to the kit. Right, and there's the little and large show laid out before you. We've got the Berghaus Vulcan 2, Bergen there on the left, and we've got the Carrymore SF Sabre 45, is it?
Yep, 45.
And obviously that's for 45 litres. That one's 110, something like that. I'm not quite sure exactly. We've both got walking poles. Great idea, haven't they?
Very good.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, that's all packed up now. We've just had a walk around, concealed where we spent time with the fire, moved all of the stones out of the way. So I think V quite rightly said, it's nice when someone can turn up knowing that they're probably the first ones here. Okay, so you don't want to leave any signs of anything like that happening. So that's all been cleared up and tidied up. There's the Bergens. To be honest, I've had enough, so we're going to leave them there, and I'll see you later on.
Till I find the road that I can travel, till I find my peace of mind.
Yep, we're leaving the nice place behind, and we're headed on to the full reservoir, as this one's been drained. But it's the same ideal underfoot. Oh, it's really tricky. Oh, we got marsh now again. Yeah, I've decided to do this final leg without the poles because I'm holding the camera. There's plenty of obstacles as well. Be careful. You alright?
This is it.
Should be able to see it by now.
Keep your eyes open for those fighters.
There's too much interference. Red 5, can you see them from where you are?
No sign of any.
Wait.
Coming in point 35.
I see them.
I'm in range. Target's coming up. Just hold them off for a few seconds.
Right, we're right in the middle of the old reservoir. Bye bye, beautiful place. I will be back. I will be back. Oh, it's like I'm walking on a jelly squishy.
235 out of it. Steady. Up a bit, 230. It's all yours, Bob. Hold up, 230. Hold up, steady. 235. Hold up, 235. Bob, going. It's gone! Look! My God!
Wow. Bye bye, lovely place.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, enough. Take it out of you. Well, take it out of me. She's hardly panting, but I'm blowing like a bastard. Right, let's keep going uphill, Sue. That's a good idea, isn't it?
Keep going up and
All
then
right.
go left.
Questi giorni quando vieni il bel sole. La 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 la.
Right, we're going to see what the weight is. What's it say?
It says 41. 41.
It's just over 41, isn't it?
41.
Wow, so I've eaten a fair bit. Right, we finally made it back to the vehicle thanks to Wonder Woman here.
No,
And
not at all. My pleasure.
oh man, you saved my arse there because my legs give up and
I know, he's really suffering. He really was suffering.
But we pushed through. Once we got on the old roads and the flat surface, it wasn't too bad. It's just the hills that do my legs like crazy. But apart from all that, it's been a fantastic time. I've really experienced it.
Absolutely fantastic. And we
Yeah.
were so blessed by the weather. I mean, phenomenal, phenomenal.
And it's still nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is Wales, isn't it?
Wales.
Yeah.
I was so hang the same. It was like
Yeah.
another dimension.
It's been awesome, and I definitely will be doing them 3 peaks. But I seriously do need to make my pack a lot lighter, as we just saw the
He's
weight
got
is
a new
still
shopping
heavy.
list. He's got a new
I
shopping
think so,
list.
yeah. Titanium stuff. That's what we're gonna need.
Definitely.
And yeah, that's pretty much for a nice long epic adventure. 48 hours in the Brecon Beacons. But we will be back. So thanks for watching, guys. Stay funky. The size of these chopsticks. Well, that's it. An end of an epic adventure, mate. I'm sure you can agree.
It's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
It was great doing. Starting a great doing with you, Funky.
There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks